if I lived in Gustavus, Alaska, my address would be Jackie Venson, Gustavus, Alaska.
Well, at least you have to use your last name. Welcome to the show.
What up, everybody?
Load.
AF.
With us, Miss Jackie Venson.
I'm doing finger guns today.
Oh,
Finger guns. She's been so kind. We were in Alaska.
Yes,
today.
I got back at 11:45 p.m. last night.
So when we approached her and
awesome.
said, we would love to have you on the show, she said, I've got 14 minutes and 37 seconds on Wednesday, September 4th.
That's right.
From 8:14 p.m. to 8:31 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what's going on, man.
Yeah.
So we had the opportunity to see you, and me and Laz both agreed your energy is off the charts.
Yeah.
Like
Sweet.
he said, he
In a
was
good
like,
way.
yeah, like in a like infectious way.
Oh, for sure. There were some moments where I was just like, wow, I've never been able to watch someone love what they do as much as you love, performing and being on stage. And
I just love playing the guitar.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
really
no, I
just
know.
playing the
And
guitar.
just you walking away with the biggest smile on your face as you're playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And nothing in the world is there except for you and the guitar in that moment.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. And it's
nothing really happens in my life except for me and the guitar. So
Right.
It's just a reflection on the life I live.
So there are people watching us going, okay, Jackie Venson, I think I've heard that name. I know, we know your story.
Yeah.
We know where you're coming from, and we really see where you're going. But tell people, tell them your story. I want to tell it, so I'm going to stop.
You tell it.
And you're like,
It's
I'm
weird
tired.
telling my own story, man.
Well, you're a native Austinite.
Yep.
Been here your whole life.
My whole
right?
life, yes.
Your dad is part of the music scene.
Well, he was. He retired.
Was a part of the music scene.
For like 20 years.
Right. So just
Maybe
a
30.
blip on the map.
Maybe like 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 years.
And you actually was it your dad's drummer?
Yeah. My current drummer is my dad's drummer for 25 years.
There we go. And you've taken a little bit of a different approach to the music career.
Yes.
You've been smart about it. And so
I've been stubborn. And I have really high standards.
that's not a bad thing.
No.
And
not
I
a
don't
bad
settle.
There you go.
And sometimes it bites me in the butt. Sometimes it saves my ass.
Yeah.
But
You know what I'm saying? And the times that it saves me far overshadow the times that it comes back to me.
well, absolutely. If you do things right and you know what's right and you know the right way to do them and you stick to it, that's going to put you in a position short term, not always as successful, but in the long term, it's definitely going to put you where you want to be.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And when you end your career, you can look back and always say, well, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? You'll never have a regret of saying, man, I wish I could
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't listened to that person just so I could have sold that record, right?
Yeah,
And,
totally.
I mean, and ultimately,
there's a delicate balance, though.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So many people. It's so funny how shallow a view of the industry everybody has. They're like, "Oh, don't ever sell out. Never sell out." I'm like, definitely sell out. Definitely.
That's called a paycheck.
That's
Just
right.
don't.
Sell means you sold.
Yeah.
Just don't keep selling out.
Right.
It's like, look, you made millions off that record. You don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
Go back to being an artist now.
Yep.
Go back to helping other artists.
Yeah.
Go back to give back.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I-
because people don't understand the unbelievable mountains you have to climb to be even given the opportunity to sell out.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just like, you know what? It's really hard playing on 6th Street. I'm just going to go down to the LA Make Me Famous office and I'm going to sell out. Just
Right.
No.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Some people's, there are certain famous bands who shall remain unnamed because I don't like to pick sides. And also, there's like one or two of their songs that I like, whatever. Anyways, there's certain famous bands whose their names have been synonymous with bad music or bad bands.
Right.
Like if a performance is really bad, they'll like, oh yeah, you totally band named that performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's because they sold out, got their millions, and then kept selling out. They never made real music again.
Right.
They just kept on making the manufactured crap that got them to the millionaire stratus.
Right.
And it's like, look, why can't you just do like a cool album, like a soul album? Like, why don't you try something new? Why do you keep on releasing these like brainless pop songs? They're just like, they're cranked out of like a machine.
So where would you say you are
You
on
know?
that trajectory?
I think that it's possible in my lifetime, maybe within the next 10 years, I will be given the opportunity to sell out. I'm hoping that it's not too bad. I'm hoping it's not like I have to do like a Christmas album.
Right. Oh no.
But you know what?
Even for and
This is what life's like when you don't sell out.
yeah.
You have to earn every single fan one by one. Let's say like you go to a new place and you put out and you spend $250 on an ad and you get on the news and you do everything you can to get into that community, right? And you get to the show and it's a Thursday night and the show's at 8:30 and 35 people come to the show. The venue fits 200. So here you are and you brought a drummer, you rented a car, you brought like a person to help sell merch. So you're paying for 3 pillows, 3 meals. So every day costs about $600. And 35 people come to this show at $20 a head. So you made $50. The whole point is to like try to establish like 20 cities that you can make $10,000 in per year.
Really?
Well, yeah, because if you get 250 people paying $20 a ticket twice a year,
Yeah.
that's $10,000. So it's only 2 shows in a city.
I am of the opinion that Austin, with Gary coming out, with Black Pumas, and with Mobley about to hit, and I think yourself and Brian and probably 3 or 4 others, I'm just not coming to mind right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I think
there's
that we are
Austin.
going to become the home of retro soul.
Oh, nice. I can dig it.
Peterson Brothers, another one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
I think we really have the opportunity.
Maylot.
That's not one I know. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
only
look her up.
and here's the thing, like for me, getting into the scene with we had Colin from Daily Austin Music.
Nice.
And he put me onto everybody. He put me onto you. He put me onto
Nice.
Mobley. He put me onto Black Pumas. He put me onto Ross. And I was like, how do I go
mean,
out to
he
music?
goes by Daily Austin Music. So
Yeah.
Right. Anybody would know.
Right.
He's learned. you know?
Right. So
It's a lot of bands, man.
Yeah.
You could list like 50, actually.
you could,
Because
but
you're also forgetting about Shaky Graves and Max Frost.
But Shaky Graves, I think, is where Black Pumas is, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. He's.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of Austin artists that are doing big things right now.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
at least 25, which
Yeah.
is like
Okay, I
insane.
need that
Also,
list
like
before-
Sweet
That's
Spirit.
it.
Sweet Spirit. Yeah, you got to look into Sweet Spirit.
Okay.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
And,
So
And now we have homework.
now,
Great.
great.
There's,
Thanks.
there's a lot.
We
man.
thought we figured out the scene.
No, there's
we
so
found out about 4 bands. We thought we had the scene down. Now we got to start all over.
But then there's also Zillion Franchise. That's the hip hop scene. And also Abby the Nomad.
I think I've heard of him.
These are all people doing like big things. Like if you look them up
I'm
online, there's
working
like
with-
shit happening.
Like
Yeah.
I'm getting
Like
Quinn,
they're playing big
Quinn
festivals.
FNN, Quinn NFN.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting him on Tribe Mafia. They're doing big things, but they're more on the like younger trap side.
Yeah.
But their stuff's hitting millions.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like in days.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
Like-
trying to say. There's a
like
lot of big
Quinn's
stuff going on
hitting
here.
like 150 in hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So my point is like it never ends.
It
but in
doesn't
the
ever
best-
end.
In the best way possible.
There's no other city like this.
Me and DM have a different idea of music, right? DM needs words for it to be meaningful, right? People need to say things.
Oh yeah. That's
I-
most people actually.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I am moved emotionally by the actual music itself.
Oh,
right?
nice. I can dig it.
So
I will say I can
So you
listen
like
to
listening
classical,
to you like listening to soundtracks and shit?
Well, no, but jazz, a lot of jazz. You
Okay.
know, like Coltrane can bring me to tears at times.
Dig it.
You know,
Dig it.
or Jimmy Page. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I listen to Zeppelin for him, and not necessarily
Yeah,
for
just for-
yeah.
yeah.
or Robert Plant's voice, the sound it makes, and not necessarily the words that they're saying, right? Because who cares about Gollum, right? But so
Pretty
for
much.
you, when I watch you on stage and I see you play the guitar, it's almost like you're having some sort of spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Like, how would you? When did you find that you could express yourself through instruments and other means?
Probably when I was like 11
Okay.
or 12.
Okay.
Once I finally got over the hump of putting my hands together on the piano. I started the piano when I was 8, and for the first 3 years, I couldn't play anything because I just couldn't put my hands together.
Okay.
Like, I would try to
Yeah.
do this and then
Yeah.
do that, and then this would mess up.
That has always been my issue with
It's
instruments. I can't do too. I play baseball too long, and so they're very coordinated.
Oh, well,
And
the
so when I
guitar
try to
is,
do,
this hand does like
Yeah.
80% of what this hand does. It's like the same thing. But the
Yeah.
piano is like, this hand is doing a totally separate thing, and then this hand is doing a totally separate thing.
Yeah.
It's like this hand is playing triplets, and this hand is playing 64th notes, like straight 64th notes. Or sorry, straight 32nd notes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like straight 32nd
yeah.
notes mixing over triplets.
Right.
Like, that's not...
It's like two different.
That's
parts
not
of your
what the
brain.
guitar
Yeah.
is. It's not how you play that instrument. The hand, you have to pluck the string and then you, bing, it's the same shit in
Right.
each hand.
Yeah.
Whereas like the drums or the keys, you literally, like, each limb has its own separate job,
Yeah.
and it's very hard. It's one of the hardest instruments because of that. It took me 3 years to put my hands together, and the reason why it took me 3 years is because I wasn't willing to practice more than 30 minutes a day. And after about 3 years, I got fed up. I was like, damn it. I gotta be able to play this thing.
Right.
It's like, I know what this hand is supposed to do, and I know what this hand is supposed to do, but I can't put them together. So I just started obsessively practicing for like 2 hours a day. And then after about a year of that, when I was 12 years old, I finally was able to put my hands together. Like, and I never answered your question earlier. Is it a spiritual experience when I play the guitar? In the way that, you know when you want to do something, you're like, it's Saturday, and I want to sit on the couch and I want to play video games, and then I want to eat pizza for dinner. And then I want to, I don't know, get laid and go to sleep.
Yep.
And then have you ever like had that day happen exactly how you wanted it to?
Yeah.
That's what it's like whenever I play the guitar. It's like, this is exactly what I want to do right now.
Right.
And I don't want to do anything else, and nothing else is even worth doing.
So I would say the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that way, yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
Right.
Because no matter what, if I'm playing the guitar, that's exactly what I want to do at that moment. Even if I didn't think that a second before. Even if I was like, ugh, so tired, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this gig. Bring woes in! It's like crazy. It's like always the only thing I want to be doing.
Right.
If I'm doing it, and kind of if I'm not doing it. Also,
I
I'm just
gotcha.
thinking about
The
doing
second
it.
you start doing it, it's
It's a-
The second
thing.
Yeah.
I start doing it, it's like I woke up from like sleeping. You know, like when you go to sleep and you wake up and it's the next day?
Right.
It's like I put the guitar on and then I take it off, and then whatever happens when it's off, I don't remember it until I put it back on. Like, oh, here I am. Cool.
Right.
And then it's like, take it off. I'm like, oh, here I am. Cool.
So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. We'll do it.
And cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cause you won't tame us. This is how we hold it, Austin. We will never change